Good evening. Welcome to Back to School Orientation. I'm Matthew Travers. So, my teaching style involves arts integration. Now, that's not my only style. It has to vary for every student. It could be hands-on, it could be kinesthetically getting all the students actively involved. I can simply be just kind of having one-on-one discussions or group discussions. So it varies depending upon my students' needs. But arts integration, as defined by John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, is an approach to teaching in which students construct and demonstrate understanding through an art form. So they take subjects and content from math, science, history, English language arts, and they integrate it with an art form. This can be media, so drawing and painting, but it can also be music, dance, and theater. And in one of my lessons that I read to students, a book called This Is Not My Hat, and they actually reenacted or came up with an alternate ending to the story through theater. You guys want to go? All right. Once you're up there and you're doing it, you'll fine. All right, so what characters are you guys?
Maurice is shark. Julian is the little fish, and I am big fish.
Okay.
Where did my hat go?
The whole video, but the idea here was that they took material and content and they somehow incorporated it, in this case in theater, and they still experienced the same ideas. They just kind of imagined it a little bit more through the art form rather than me simply writing it on the board or just simply talking to them about it. It gets them up involved, it gets them to have to communicate with their group members and think critically. And according to Julia Marshall from Substantive Art Integration, Exemplary Art Education, uh, the benefits of art integration involve research and uncovering the concepts beneath images and ideas, which is thinking deeply, connecting them to real ideas, which is thinking broadly, and in developing imaginative and playful exercises that allow for students to discover and connect ideas themselves through research and play. So that's just a formal way of saying that if you get the students, this will be my job, if I get the students to actively participate in research and play, and they have to essentially role play in some instances, they will be able to imagine these concepts and ideas, which will allow them to think deeply, and it will allow them to connect it to the real world. And it's grounded in theory because its applied potential with the arts creates transferable learning that is not situationally specific. John Dewey suggests everyone is capable of at least artistic thinking, which links applications of imaginative thinking in other subjects. Again, math, science, history, English language arts can all be incorporated with the different art forms. Okay, and to wrap this up, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the Little Book of Talent. And so there's two tips that I really like. Find the sweet spot. You want it to be a little bit out of their reach, to get them a little bit frustrated, get them to struggle a little bit, because that will ultimately lead to them growing and eventually grasping what they're reaching for. Because if it's too easy, they get comfortable and content and they don't try as hard. But if it's too difficult, they will eventually give up. The other tip, break every move down into chunks. You want to break up the information and break down each step, because if you don't, and this goes for parenting and teaching and a lot of different practices, but you want to break it down, because if you throw the whole thing at them, they won't be able to understand it. They won't be able to understand it all. And you want to break it down so that they understand and master each step along the way so that they eventually will reach a higher level. Okay, thank you guys for listening to this video, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you a little bit more personally throughout the school year. Thank you guys.